working in a new guy. Last week with Trey. I guess when you guys recruited him, I know he was kind of listed as an athlete. How much consideration did you initially give to him being a running back, or did you kind of know pretty early on that you wanted him on the defense?
We actually, the ironic thing is we actually initially offered him as a running back, and then we got 2 commitments really before he got to campus. And the beautiful thing with how Coach Moore and our staff recruits, if the young man's talented enough, then he can help us somewhere. We're going to take him. And that's where it kind of worked out with Trey. And I know we were all excited to have him, just regardless of what position it was, just because he was a neat young man, long athletic kid that could bring some value to a couple of different spots. So it just kind of worked out that, hey, we're going to start him off at linebacker, and then Coach saw an opportunity, and that's where we're at today.
Were you involved much in his recruitment, or?
Yeah, honestly, we write notes and that kind of stuff, and talking. So he and I, before we made that transition to recruit him as an athlete, before we had 2 commitments on, we had talked on the phone and everything, and a couple times, and he's a neat kid, and I know just overall we're excited to have him as part of this program.
It sounded like he had some challenges with recruitment, just being injured. I think his last 2 years, he said. Is that kind of a good sign of his character? I guess, to see him endure that and still be as invested in football as he is.
Yeah, I think it's fair. That's a good statement. He loves football. He's a sponge. I know the defensive guys really enjoyed having him over there, and he's been great to work with, and he's fit in really well in our room, and he's always asking questions, and so I like that about him. I mean, he's got regardless of where this goes from here, he's got I think a bright future at the University of Wyoming.
In terms of the power run game that you guys like to use, is his size kind of prototypical for you?
Prototypical. If the prototype's Brian Hill, then probably, I guess. I know Coach likes having bigger backs, and so I think he fits what we probably envision, I guess, and so yeah, his size potential, because he's going to get big, regardless. He's going to be a big young man, so I know we're excited about his future here.
With the other 3 guys, it seemed like Kellen maybe is having more and more success. I know it's a pretty small sample size, but has he maybe impressed you the most of that group so far this year?
Well, I think that there's always a fine line to sometimes getting opportunities, the right opportunities, and I don't know if and it's a collection of everything. It's a collection of running backs, maybe preparation, finishing blocks, execution, all those different types of things. And I think he's probably had the most potentially clean opportunities. So he's done a good job. The thing I like that he's done out there on the field is I like the way he's finished runs. That's been encouraging, because I felt like maybe a little bit during the spring he was still a little tentative coming off the injuries and such. So it was encouraging for us to see his progression from the first game to the second game in regards to finishing, which was good, and that's where we wanted to continue to go.
I know he's maybe not as big as Trey, but I think a little bit bigger than Milo and Nico. Is that an advantage he has when you guys do like to run kind of power stuff, that he has a little bit more size? Or?
Yeah, he's I think it's crazy though is he's not as tall, but I think he weighs more than Trey.
Yeah.
And he's a couple pounds heavier than Nico. I think so. He lowers his shoulder well in contact, and got some good yards after contact on Saturday. So, each one of those guys are unique in their own gifts, and what they bring to the team, and they each have a good role within our offense, and again, it's always going to continue to reshape itself. We're very strong in the sense that we're gonna roll the guy who's high. And whoever knows who that may be in the next game and such, but I like the guys. We got to get more production out of them. I think that's very very honest, and I think everybody knows that.
Right, and I think especially in the second half, there was kind of a stretch where Milo kind of had a few tough runs in a row, and like you said, it's maybe it's not one person. There's the O-line factor too. But as a coach, do you have to do anything to just kind of keep his head up and make sure he doesn't get frustrated?
Well, I would hope that frustration doesn't set in. I would also hope that and I say frustration. I want them to be frustrated. I want all those guys to be frustrated when we're not gaining yards and such. But I think there's a way we can channel that frustration, you know, from a work ethic, from a preparation perspective, you know, demanding of each other, demanding of your teammates, and those are all things that we need to continue to strive to get better at. You know, this week and get our scout team to give a better work, whatever that may be. You know, we've got to continue to grind and use that frustration from a positive way and channel into us getting better.
And how do you like where the group is at in terms of pass protection?
You know, I really like where Nico's at. I really do. I think he's done a good job so far this season. You know, I think Kellen has improved. You know, from where he was at, especially as a freshman, and early in the spring, and we need to keep that progression going. And Milo's done a good job. He really has. He hasn't had many opportunities this fall to pick up a lot of pressure, but I do like. Surprisingly where he was at. So I think that he's grown a lot even from spring to where he's at now, but he just hasn't had a lot of those different types of opportunities. So.